Hello everyone, this is Matthew once again, and today, as this marks the 1 year anniversary of what I consider to be my favorite superhero movie of 2017, and that is, my friends, I'm going to do a re-review of a movie that deserves the attention and respect it deserves, and that is Power Rangers, or Saban's Power Rangers, however you want to put it, starring Dacre Montgomery, Naomi Scott, Ludi Land, Becky Gomez, R.J. Kyler, alongside with Bill Hader, Bryan Cranston, Elizabeth Banks, film composer Brian Tyler, screenplay by John Gatins, and directed by the man who gave us Project Almanac, Dean Israelite. And before I talk about the movie itself, I guess I want to show you. Of course, yes, I'm wearing my Power Rangers t-shirt, which of course I've already done that on my review of the movie last year, so why not wear it again? I got this, like, probably back in 2016 when I was watching many other Power Rangers TV shows on Netflix, so I had to get this just for collectible sake. Got this at Walmart. And of course, last year I got this. Y'all can see it. Before and after. From the TV show and from the movie. That's really cool. And of course, I got this year, which I think is really cool. I know I've already had the soundtrack on my iPhone, which I just bought. But I had to pick this up just for collectible sake. This cool looking vinyl album. It was my first time I ever owned one. Glare. The cover looks nice, but I would have liked it if it was this, which I do find very Star Wars-y, but I love it, so I think this should have been the main cover, and not this. And also, what I did not notice is it has the sticker on it where it says Yellow Ranger vinyl, because it has something to do with these, which of course these are limited editions, that you get each of the Rangers with their own color, like either the red, the black, or blue, or yellow and pink. So that's cool. So I was happy to have this. And of course, yeah, when you notice when I did the what I had the Power Morpher, which is in my room, by the way. So anyway, of course, I have done a special inside look of this Blu-ray, which I was thinking about doing like a Blu-ray review of this, but right now I'm just going to give you the short version. The picture quality is pitch perfect. It looks fantastic. All the colors, the details, it's really good. Just watch on the 4K TV set, and made it look more beautiful. And the sound is just great. And of course, I did a special inside look, as I said before. You have the spine, the cover, and of course, this is the Walmart exclusive edition, just to bring that up. And of course, it has all the features here. You get deleted alternate extended scenes, you get outtakes, and you get a documentary of the film where it has all the features such as Rangers In and Now, Building the Team, Beyond the Rangers, Suiting Up, Rangers Welcome to Training, Raiders in the Wild, It's Morphin Time, Power Ballet, Music and Sound. This Is Your Destiny. You get a trailer of the film, but with a commentary track, so you can't watch it without the commentary track. So, but at least you can look up on YouTube, so you can watch the trailer without the commentary. And you get a commentary track by the director and writer, Dean Israelite and John Gatins. So, and of course, as I said, this is the Walmart exclusive. I think it's saying out. It comes with this, a bonus disc, which I just watched, and just has some random featurette stuff about the car and the donut place and all sorts of things. Well, Dean Israelite commenting them. So, really nice stuff. But anyway, to talk about the movie itself, the last time I reviewed this movie, it was spoiler-free, but now this is the 1 year anniversary. I do think I'm going to go into much detail about why do I love this movie very much, just to give it the attention and respect it deserves. So, if you do not want to watch this video that has spoilers, then just turn off now and just go see it with an open mind, as it's available now on DVD and Blu-ray, digital HD, as well as Amazon Prime and Hulu. So, yeah, it's been like 1 year since this movie came around, and still remember it was like the best birthday I ever had, when I was like 25 years old when I saw this movie the day after it came out on my birthday. So now I'm about to talk about it, and before I do that, I want to give you the backstory. Bryan Cranston, who plays Sora in the film, previously voiced two monsters such as Twin Man and Snizzard in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a TV show. And also, if you remember one of the trailers in the movie, it features Jason and Kimberly kissing, but I just found out that due to the negative reaction by the test audiences, it was cut out of the film so that Kimberly can have her own redemption story. Also, the school that you saw in the movie, it was exactly the exact same school that was used in a TV show, Smallville. And moving on, before John Gatins was hired to write the script for the film, Max Landis actually wrote an early draft of the script where it featured Kimberly as the Black Ranger and Zack as the Pink Ranger. But thankfully that concept was scrapped. And Roberto Orci, when he was brought up to produce the film, but unfortunately he couldn't to make a commitment to it as he had to work on Star Trek Beyond. And then when the film came out on March 24th, 2017, it received mixed reviews by critics, but it did receive an A score by Cinema Score for audiences. However, unfortunately, as the budget was like $100 million, it only made like $85.3 million in the U.S., $56.9 million outside the U.S., which brings up to $142.3 million worldwide. So that is a bummer. The film itself did receive 16 Choice Award nominations for Choice Movie Actor Sci-Fi, Choice Movie Sci-Fi, Choice Movie Actress Sci-Fi, Choice Movie Villain, and Choice Scene Stealer. R.J. Cara lost the Choice Scene Stealer to Camila Mendes in Riverdale. Elizabeth Banks lost that award for her performance as a villain, Repulsa, to Luke Evans as Gaston in the Beauty and the Beast remake. And the Choice Movie Actor Jacob Montgomery was given to Chris Pratt for Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2. Naomi Scott and Becky Gomez were nominated, but they lost it to Zoe Saldana for Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2. And the movie itself was given to Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2. But despite the failure of the box office, it has found success as it became the #1 active selling brand for merchandising sales. And of course, it came out on Blu-ray on June 27, 2017, as it became very successful for its home media market, as it reached the #1 spot for like about 2 weeks, as it could lead to a possibility of having, well, a sequel. So yeah, so that is the backstory of the film. And now, talking about why do I love this movie very much? Well, when it comes to like the Transform movies and the Ninja Turtle movies, this movie, and thank the Lord, this is the most harmless movie that's ever been made. And it really doesn't have some of the angle shots where you can see a woman's body, or having burp jokes or fart jokes or any pop culture reference at all. It was at least trying to be a movie, and it was at least trying to tell a story and get as invested with the characters emotionally. And as much as I enjoy the Transform movies, except 3 and 5, which I'm going to get to about the 5th Transform movie, the Rangers themselves are the stars of the film. So it's not really like Ernie's Juice Bar featuring the Power Rangers. No, it's really the Power Rangers. Front and center. If you came here to see a movie about Power Rangers, then it shows. And now, to get into spoilers, here's how I describe this movie and how much I love it. And if I remember correctly from my first review, when I first saw this movie on the big screen, when it shows the Lionsgate logo and then the Saban logo, and it shows 65 millimeters. And when I was watching it on the big screen, I was just, my mind was like, oh my goodness. I was like watching Power Rangers with a budget on the big screen. And I knew this movie was going to be something really, really special about it. To see you have a Red Ranger who's badly beaten, and it reveals itself to be Sordon, and telling the Yellow Ranger, which appears to be, I would say, a reference to Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers from the planet Aquitar. and then he hides all the power coins, and then boom, Rita Repulsa show up as the Green Ranger. So I thought that was really something. They were expanding the mythology to add more in depth with Zordon and Rita, as they both had a history that they were both once Rangers. And then we cut to present day, and we see Jason, who's going to do something really stupid, where he's trying to make fun of some football team as they put like a cow there, and then of course the cops show up and Jason makes it escape, but then crashes, and then of course 3 weeks later he's off to detention, which of course is like, when I saw this movie, it's like a cross between Chronicle meets The Breakfast Club, or simply the superhero version of The Breakfast Club. And of course you have Jason's father, played by David Dimon, saying, now you gotta come to every Saturdays just so you can graduate with all these other weirdos and criminals. Yeah, like you said, we'll never understand each other. And oh yeah, that's another thing. Even when I watched this movie for the first time on Blu-ray last year, I still love it. And then of course I watch it again, and then of course I listen to the commentary track, and now I just watched it last night. I got some more moments in the film that got me teary-eyed than just this one scene, which I'll get to, which is toward the end of the movie. There were moments that got me teary-eyed when I was watching it. Like, the first one I got teary-eyed when I was watching last night was the opening, where you have Zordon and Rita as Power Rangers. And now I got teary-eyed when Jason walks into the school building in the hallway, looking at all his stuff when he was like a famous football player. And then, of course, Kimberly walks in, and I just get more teary-eyed, and it just shows that how much I really loved Power Rangers when I was a kid. And yeah, it's just, I just have so much love for these characters that I grew up with and have fond memories with it. To see the characters that I love very much, such as Jason, Billy, Kimberly, Zack, and Trini. And then, of course, as later on toward the movie, we now have Jason, Billy meet each other for the first time as Billy's getting poked by a bully. Not bulk in school, just like bullying Colt Wallace. And then, of course, Jason just stood up for Billy. And then, of course, Kimberly gets called into the girls' bathroom, which, of course, is her two other friends who also bully her as they kick her off the team. They're breaking up, so they're no longer friends. And, of course, Kimberly decides to cut her own hair. And, of course, come downstairs and woo! And then, of course, Jason and Billy start to talk for the first time. And then, of course, Billy helps Jason out to get the fines off his leg right here as he's under house arrest. So Jason just grabs the bag, and then, of course, you get our first look of Angel Grove, which is like a small town. That's sort of like a seaside place, rather than just being all fancy, be all California-like. So, but, of course, it does take place in California, as it was in a TV show. But, of course, the show was shot in Vancouver, but no need to go into it. Then, of course, Jason finally meets Billy, and then, of course, Billy, which, of course, R.J. Kyler here, who does a really good job with this movie. He's definitely one of the funniest things about this movie, and he was definitely played very well instead of treating him like a racial stereotype, like, oh, I'm the token black guy, and yo, mama. So, they didn't try to Michael Bay him just like the robots for Transformers 2. So, gotta give the film credit here. These teenagers do not act like goody goods they were in the show. They just treat them more like real people. Which, one thing I like about this movie, they actually gave these characters more depths. That you feel so emotionally attached to them, and you know that these teenagers are not perfect. And hey, even I was a teenager back then, and I wasn't perfect either. I mean, the whole world isn't perfect. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. But, anyway, Billy did well successfully to disarm it, or should I say disable it. And then, of course, they go to the mine place, and, of course, you have Sag, who's just hanging out, chilling, or chillaxing. Sees Trini having her own meditation while listening to heavy metal. And then, of course, Jason sees Kimberly, who takes all her clothes off, which I think either in her underwear or bikini. I really don't know. And, of course, that sure turns Jason on a bit just to look at her body that finds her pretty exotic looking. But, of course, they don't putting sexual innuendo joke, just like any of the other Michael Bay movies, like Transformers, which I don't want to go into about it. But so anyway, moving on. Jason and Kimberly finally talk now. As of course they start to film some sort of romance together, and then of course Billy just and of course all or the characters Jason, Kimberly, Zach, and Trini meet up with Billy, and of course they find some power coins for the first time, and then of course security he makes the noise, and of course they make the run, and then of course they get hit by a train. And then, of course, you have Jason's dad, which, of course, kind of reminds me of Man of Steel. Like, if you're on an episode of The Dailiest Catch, they got some fish, and they came across a dead woman corpse, which, of course, that's supposed to be Rita Repulsa. And then the next day, the Rangers woke up as they happened to be alive and well and survived the train crash. And then they realized that they got super abilities with super strength because of the power coins. So it seemed like out of a Spider-Man movie where Peter Parker got bitten by a spider, but it gives him superpowers with super strength and six-pack and all, but all that sort of thing. And then, of course, Billy meets his bully again, and, of course, the bully tries to break his wrist, but unable to, and then just bing! So, yeah, this movie does have some really good humor, and it really has the right kind of humor that's even more natural and not something you see out of a Michael Bay movie like, oh yeah, look at her body, I just want to bang her real good, or this or that, or a fart joke, or all that stuff, which I'm going to ramble on about. And of course, Jason, Billy, Kimberly went back to the mine as they meet up with Zach and Tree again, and they realize they could jump really high. Especially, that's like one of the funniest things I remember in the trailer saying, I'm going to jump across her, and then you're going to jump. Piece of cake. No, don't jump. Jason, that's not a piece of cake. Come on, Billy, you can do it. No, I don't. And of course, Billy does jump, and then, and they all start to freak out thinking Billy's dead, and then now they realize that Billy is alive and well as he's okay. So they all jump into the water, and then they look at their power coins as they're glowing. Especially, another thing that was fun in the trailer where I did the reaction is, where I start to laugh so hard when I saw, or heard that line in the movie, where Billy says, I'm blue, and Zach goes, I'm black. What? I am. No, you're not. Which, of course, that's like a direct nod for the TV show where you have Zach, the Black Ranger, who happens to be black, and you have Trinity, the Ranger, who happens to be Asian. So it's like a direct reference from that. And they go deep underwater, and you get this really cool effect where Billy touches the water. So that's really cool. And then they go in, and then they fall, and then they stumble across a spaceship, and then it leads out to the entrance to the command center, and our introduction to Alpha 5, voiced by Bill Hader, which, when I first saw the design on ComingSoon.net, I was already sold on that. I was really sold on that redesign of Alpha. I know that might turn people off, that's not really the same Alpha from the show, but hey, I knew there was going to be changes in this movie, so they don't bother me. So I was okay with it, except for one change, which I'll get to. And of course, they meet Zordon for the first time, but of course, he's played by Bryan Cranston. And I saw the redesign of Zordon looks really good, which he kind of reminds me of those things you put on your face or put on your hand, like the one in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And then, of course, they were showing about what's coming terrible to their world, that Rita Repulsa is here, and he's going to destroy Intergrove, as they only have like 11 days to prepare to take it down. And then, of course, Jason becomes the leader of the team as the Red Ranger. Then, of course, Jason says that we should all come back here, that they might have a reason, a purpose of what to do, as this is a chance to become from nobody to somebody. And, of course, Rita Repulsa is awakened as she killed a police officer. Don't know why I said he. And then, of course, she kills one of the people there, who I think is like a homeless guy, by taking all the gold teeth out. So then the Rangers just all come together, Jason, Billy, Kimberly, Zach, and Trini, and then, of course, Zordon gives them the rules, which they are very identical, or almost identical to the one from the show, by giving them the rules on them not to reveal their identity as Rangers. And they all come together in the morphing grid, but unfortunately, they were unable to morph. So they were taken to the pit without their armor, as they're going to be trained by Sauron Alpha to take down what they call putties, which those are Rita's minions. And of course, that comes in, oh, just a hologram like a video game. That boom, that's a strong butt hologram, not a video game. And of course, another thing I'd like to say, another thing I like about the film, I do like some of the songs in the film, like the explosion in the sky where they go in the water, where they find interest in the spaceship. And then, of course, you do have the song for the train monster's call, I can make your hands clap. And then, of course, they are introduced by their swords, the T-Rex, the Mastodon, the Triceratops, the Saber-tooth tiger, and the Pterodactyl. But, of course, Alpha says you are not ready for it until you become rangers in your own armor. So, Zack just disobeys Alpha's words, so he just takes a ride on his Mastodon, and then he starts to go crazy with it, and then he comes back, and then Jason and Zack start to have a fight. Then Billy is just, stop it! As you could tell that by Billy's heart that he really doesn't want these two to fight, because all he cares about is he just wants to have friends. And he felt like he is friends with Jason, Zack, and Kimberly and Trini. So Billy finally becomes a Power Ranger for the first time. Okay, let's go! But then all of a sudden it starts to go back to being Billy as he doesn't have the suit on. And then Soren just tells him, get out of there, you're no longer Rangers. Training is over. So they all live, and then Jason just talks to Sordon about why is he doing this, because he found out that Sordon had his reason of having our main characters to be Rangers so he can take down Rita himself. And Jason just told Sordon to stop telling me what I'm doing wrong. And Sordon said, you need me out of this wall to take down Rita. Your team is dead, and you're just as scared as we are. So then we cut to Rita in the jewelry store, which, Elizabeth Banks here, in my opinion, she is having the time of her life. She is really a great performance who's, in my opinion, she's both funny and scary at the same time. She's not straight up funny like the car TV show, or straight up serious like any movies are trying to be dark and gritty. Even the movie itself is not dark and gritty. It's just like some you see out of the Marvel movies, where it has the right balance to be 50% serious and 50% playful. So Rita takes all the gold, and then the cops just showed up, shoots Rita, and then Rita just destroys the jewelry store. And then also another thing is, if you watch one of the trailers, or you could pause it, you'll notice there's some Easter eggs in Power Rangers, like those street signs. In the jewelry store, it says Silver Hills and Ocean Bluff, which also are named after the fictional scenes from other Power Rangers TV shows, where Ocean Bluff is reference to Power Rangers Jungle Fury, and Silver Hills is referencing to Power Rangers Time Force, which Power Rangers is one of my favorite Power Rangers spin-offs I ever watched. I love Time Force. And of course, I did put Wes and Jen as my top 9 favorite couple in the number 5 spot. Even later on in the film, when Jason's dad is at Angel Grove, witnessing the destruction of it, as he's trying to call his son, saying, I'm somewhere between Mariner Bay and Reefside, that Mariner Bay is reference to Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, and Reefside is reference to Power Rangers Down Thunder. So that's really cool that the filmmakers were able to do their homework on Power Rangers. So the movie itself really does have the right balance to be both nostalgic and modern at the same time. But anyway, back to the movie. We get this one scene that actually did give me teary-eyed last night, is the campfire scene, as they're trying to figure out why they can't morph, as Zack saying that they don't know each other very well. And Zack just stood up, telling them who he is, and tells them how much he loved his mom, and saying his mom was like the best, and worried that she's not going to make it. And of course, Billy just told them who he is, that he's on the spectrum, as of course he is an autistic, and tells them that he loves country music. And then Jason asks him, why were you in detention? I blew my lunchbox. And of course, Kimmy doesn't share her secrets, so just wasn't ready for it. And for Jason, he says that everyone knows who he is. Especially we saw early in the film that he's a well-known football player, but also he has like daddy issues. And then of course we have Trini, as she talks about her problems when it comes to going from different schools and trying to fit in, especially not trying to have any friends at all. And she did say this line where she says, what happens when this is all over? Are we Power Rangers or are we just friends? Them trying to get to know their secret actually did remind me of the Breakfast Club, and I have no problem with it at all. And then of course, Rita comes into Trini's bedroom, and then Rita says, "I was just like you, who was full of hope, and I enjoy killing all the Rangers." And then, of course, she sends Trini a message about that she is going to destroy Indian Grove and trying to find out where are the steel crystals are. Which, of course, the steel crystals also reference from Power Ranger CEO. Also like the show, too. And then, of course, we get the Kimberly entering Jason's bedroom. And, of course, even when I was watching the movie, I was expecting the kissing the show, which I do understand why they cut it out, but even watching the deleted scene, I think they made the right choice not to. That does seem a bit forced. But I wouldn't mind just a simple kiss where it's just like, and that's it, rather than just get all raunchy or anything. Where it doesn't need to be rated R like that fan short film they did. So I was very glad that this movie got a PG-13 rating, which I really loved. Because I was done seeing Power Rangers being all PG like the one from 1995, as well as Turbo Power Rangers. So I'm glad this is PG-13. And kids could enjoy it too. So it's not, like I said, it's not dark and gritty. It's just 50% serious and 50% fun. And of course, Kimberly tells Jason her secret that like the reason that she thinks that they came in Morse because she punched a guy named Ty Fleming and just shows Jason her phone, but we don't see it. And Jason just says, just because you did an awful thing doesn't make you a bad person. If you don't want to raise it, then just live with it. Just be the person you always want to be. Which, of course, they make Kimberly feel better. And then, of course, receive a text from Trini as they all come together at the football field. And Trini explains what happened to the situation. And, of course, Jason said that they should go to Rita. But they didn't, because they said they should go to Sordon. Then Jason tells them the reason why Sordon told them they will become Power Rangers so they can, yes, he can take down Rita, which is all nothing but a lie. And of course, as I need to get my phone out, Jason says a pretty nice monologue here in the movie, so I could look it up. Power Rangers, IMDb, quotes, if I could find it. No, it's there. I'm going to find it. Okay, where is it? Never mind. I thought I could find it. He says in a film where he says that we're all screw-ups. As much as I hate living in this BS town, I'm not going to sit around and let it all die. So who's with me? And that's another teary-eyed moment. They all raise their hands up, and then they all do come together as they take all the weapons they can at the dog so they can take down Rita. And seeing them walk in a straight line, this movie, I don't like the Ninja Turtle movies, as well as Transformers 5, which I'm about to get to. This movie really does have a heart, which I'm very thankful for. This movie is trying to have a heart. And I was so emotionally attached to it. I was really into it. I was getting sucked into this world, especially how much I'm really loving these characters, that they all come together until they overcome their issues, that they would work together as a team. As this movie is about, as I remember one of the interviews, it's about togetherness. And it shows. So the Rangers see some strange guy on the chair and then drops on the guy, and then Trini reacts, and boom, Rita shows up. And in the TV show, Rita doesn't do anything. She just sits on her palace and just goes, "Oh, I got a headache." No. This movie, Rita really takes care of business. and she means business. She actually does fight the Raiders off one by one. So it's really cool to see Rita kicking some butt and just beating up the Rangers. And of course, the Rangers get all tied up, and she's questioning them to where are the CEO crystals. And they don't know, and then tries to kill Sag, and then Billy just comes in saying, okay, don't hurt him. Leave my friends alone, please. Where are they? And of course, even when I saw in the movie, I know this might turn people off, but at the same time, I do think it's hilarious. So, there's just one well-known product placement that plays a part of Power Rangers. Are you ready? Are you ready? The CEO crystals are hiding under a place called Krispy Kreme Donuts. Yeah. Krispy Kreme plays a part in Power Rangers. I know that sounds weird, but hey. I guess, it's Power Rangers. You gotta at least have some corniness in it, so why not? And of course, Rita thanks Billy, and used to think that she's gonna leave them there, and while Rita takes care of Angel Girl herself, but even though she is going to, she kills one of the Rangers off, and she kills Billy. And of course, Billy gets drowned, and then of course, the Rangers get untied, and then finally they try to rescue Billy, but it was too late. And Kimberly just takes out a paper that says, we should start a band together. Which, this movie really does have a heart in the film, where, these kids really do have a chemistry together, and you really do feel emotionally attached to them, as I said before. Especially, Billy here is a guy who's really the heart and soul of the Power Rangers, and all he ever wanted was to be a family. And I really do feel for Billy. And of course, the Rangers start to cry, and then of course, this scene really does bring me to tears. And I mean not bring tears. I was crying so much when I saw that scene happening, where it plays the song called "Stand By Me" by Bootstraps, which I gotta say, that's actually a really good song. A song that actually made me want to cry. And of course, they take Billy to the command center, and then asking Soren's help to bring Billy back, but Soren says he can't, especially what happened to his team. And of course, Dacre Montgomery's character Jason, who is also really good in the movie too, where he tells the other Rangers that he was just so angry, and which he would have gave his life to Billy. But then Kimberly just says, or maybe because Billy just gave his life so he can save us. And Stack says he would give his life for Billy, he can. And so would Trini and Jason, and I know Kimberly would as well. And Kimberly also says, whatever it is that we said, it just really doesn't matter. This is what matters most. And then, of course, the Morbid Grid finally opens, and this is going to be Soren's time to enter the spaceship. And then everything goes all darkness. Soren? Master? And then Soren comes back, but still as the talking wall. Soren, why did you step through? That was your time. I know. But only one could come back. And then I cried again when Billy comes back. And then all the Rangers rush up to Billy. And Soren says, there can only be one Red Ranger. Jason, this is your time. This is your team. So Soren actually gave his blessings that Jason is the Red Ranger now, and this is his team, his time, and his destiny. Jason walks out to Billy saying, welcome back, my friend. And then Billy realized that they had to get through the Krispy Kreme. And then we get the most epic moment in the movie, which I saw it was beautiful to see on the big screen. As tears were pouring out my eyes, and Brian Terry's music kicks in, which definitely one of Brian Terry's greatest scores. I mean, I love his work on Rambo 4 and whatever it is he's done. This is probably one of his best scores. And I love some of the work of the synthesizer music. And of course, it did remind me a bit of like Stranger Things. They all come in the Morbid Grid together, and then Jason says, it's Morbid time. And I was just, yes. and they finally become Power Rangers for the first time in their lives, and then they all come in a straight line. As this has been like, we're in 2018 right now. For 25 years, Power Rangers, it still keeps going on, and yeah, no words to describe it. Just how awesome that sequence is. And of course, the Rangers fight the putties off, and you get some pretty cool action scenes, as well as Jason carry his own sword. And then of course, Rita, make my monster grow. And then of course, Goldar is born. And as much as I love everything about what I saw in the movie, especially I don't mind the redesigns like the Mega Sword and the Ranger Sword, as well as the suits and Rita's costume and Zordons and Alphas. Goldar here, I said it was a very interesting design. I understand why they went with it, as he's supposed to be a shapeshifter, and of course he's all melty and gold. But I do agree, I felt like he should have had a face, especially have more of a personality. But I guess maybe they only need to focus on one villain, that's Rita, which I think is probably for the better. But you could at least give a bit more to Goldar if you have a bit more of a backstory, just like in the opening when we see Zordon and Rita as Power Rangers, which I think that's what they should have done. So I think it's a missed opportunity. So the Rangers get in their swords, and then of course, woo! Yippee-ki-yay, mother! Mama's good, mama's good. And then of course, the '95 Power Rangers movie theme song kicks in. I would just go go Power Rangers, dun, 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 go go Power Rangers. And of course, they did this famous reenactment shot where you see the swords all hanging toward Angel Grove, which I thought was a direct nod to it. So I thought it was pretty cool. And then of course, you have the Kanye West on Power, which I was really into it. And of course, even this movie came out the same year as Transformers 5. This movie actually did take a jab at Transformers. So that Jason picks out the Camaro, which is supposed to be Bumblebee, throws the car at the putties, and he goes, "Sorry, Bumblebee." So, yeah, I mean, I'm not really mad they're taking a jab at Transformers, so I'm okay with it. I was down for it. And then, of course, Jason sees his father truck, and then of course he goes after him to save him, saying, "Sam, it's okay, give me your hand." And then of course, that's also like I think that kind of got me teary-eyed a bit, where his father grabs his son. You know, he doesn't know that his son is the Red Ranger. And then of course, Jason goes back, and then of course the putties are gone, and Rita does find the Krispy Kreme. Even this one part of the movie actually did make me laugh, where she goes inside, takes a donut, and goes, which that's definitely a commercial. Then, of course, the Rangers try to stop Goldar, but they're being pushed to the pit. And then, of course, I think one of the Rangers says, "No one dies alone." And Billy says, "Thank you for all being my friends." And even though, well, they cut out the kiss part between Jason and Kimberly, they actually did leave one little part of the film where they actually look at each other as well as like putting their hands on the glass. And then, of course, the Rangers fall into the pit, and then they start forming as the Mega Sword. So Rita joins up with Goldar, and then, of course, you get this pretty cool fight, which I will say, in my opinion, even though you will disagree with me, and that's okay, I like this movie a lot more than I have with Pacific Rim. Even though Pacific Rim is an okay movie, there's something wrong with it. I don't like this movie as much as everyone else does. It's just that the characters were not that interesting, and I wasn't mostly invested with it. I mean, it's got some nice action scenes, and it's finally directed by Guillermo del Toro, but just I didn't care much for the movie at all. But it's an okay movie. It's an okay movie. I don't hate it, just don't love it as much as everyone else does. But that's a different topic. And of course, the Rangers defeated Goldar, and then Rita comes out and saying that there'll be more to come, and telling the Rangers that, "You know I'm right." And Jason says, "I don't know. For now, I'm going to eat at your staff and your coin, as we'll take it to Zordon and let him be the judge." Zordon, judge me never. No matter what Zordon says, I am worthy. Then, of course, Rita jumps many stories above and then tries to destroy the Megazords, and Jason, do you slap her? Which actually did make me laugh. Then, of course, Rita goes in space, frozen, and occurs in the background. You'll see the moon, which is possibly that could be her base. And you get very nice cameos by J.T. David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson, making a cameo in the film, which I thought was really cool. Then, of course, the Megastars start dancing a bit and play the song Unstoppable by the Squirrel, which I actually like that song. And then, of course, it put me a smile on my face. It actually did leave me with a good feeling at the end. So, The Rangers went from not being friends to being friends. And then, of course, we do get the I Got the Power remix, which I'm not really a fan of that cover, but did leave a post-credit scene. Next up, our list, we have Tommy Oliver. Tommy Oliver. And it just shows a green jacket, then Billy blows up a locker, and then we cut the credits. So, yeah. So, that's the movie itself. For negative things about this movie, I do remember in my original review, I did say that there wasn't very much a Sack of Trini's character, despite that they actually have moments to shine off during the campfire thing. But now watching again, they actually do have enough character development in the film that there is much to it as I watched it last night, so my opinion changed on that one. And I will admit, I can see why people get turned off by the Krispy Kreme situation where it plays a big part of the film. I will admit about that. But at the same time, I do think it's hilarious, so I'm both praising it and criticizing it. And I'm not really a fan of Goldar's look. You know, it's interesting design by which he had a bit more of a personality. But the main positive thing about this film is that I thought the story itself is really well told as about them trying to become Power Rangers, as they all come from different backgrounds and what they have gone through with all the issues they have, but they must work together as a team. And I understand people will be disappointed by this, that there's not that many action scenes in the movie as they're expecting this, like a Transformers time movie, which it's understandable, but aren't you glad this isn't another Transformers time movie, as this movie is trying to have a story where it's a Transformers film they're not very much on story-wise or anything? Even though I will say I like the first Transformers movie, which is my favorite, but I do agree with the nostalgic critic here, as Scott Walker. This movie is deeper than Transformers. I will agree with him. Transformers 2 may have its problems, but I like it. 3 is okay. I do like number 4. But number 5, in my opinion, when it came out the same year as this, Transformers 5 is the worst film in the series, in my opinion. And that movie does not have a heart. I mean, yeah, you have Optimus Prime and Bumblebee fighting, but my brother Johnson, he was right about the movie. There's nothing emotionally attached to see Bumblebee and Optimus Prime fighting. If there is, then you could always have a reason for it, that Bumblebee really misses Optimus and may have sort of flashback that he's always loyal to Optimus Prime and Bumblebee is always good to him and all that stuff. But Transformers 5 didn't go into it. It was just there to see Optimus Prime and Bumblebee fighting. For some apparent reason. For this movie, it has a reason to make us care about these characters. And this movie really does have a heart, as this movie shows about togetherness. And it does. And I thought the acting is really good, especially our 5 main actors, Dacre Montgomery, R.J. Kyler, Becky Gomez, Ludi Lin, and Naomi Scott. As well as Elizabeth Banks and Bryan Cranston and Bill Hader. They all did great. And of course, I may have mentioned R.J. Kyler, but he was really good too, and he is definitely one of the funny things about this movie. And I thought the music by Brian Tyler, definitely one of his best works ever done. And I thought Dean Ayers does an amazing job of directing this movie, that he was really fully passionate on making this movie. And I thought the action scenes at the end is pretty good. It's good to hear the theme song, and the special effects are really good. You do get some practical effects, and of course everything else is all CGI, like Digital Domain, and the suits are done by Weta Workshop. So I thought the CGI in this film is definitely a whole lot better than the 1995 movie, because if you look at the 1995 movie, those were terrible CGI. This here has good CGI. This is a Power Rangers movie with a budget and an edge. And especially it's rated PG-13 for sequence of sci-fi violence, action, and destruction language, and for some crude humor. Thankfully, no sexual innuendo jokes like any other Michael Bay movie, which I'm very thankful for. This is a movie that's put with a lot of love and care into it, as they are respecting the brand. And I know people may not like the redesign of the suits and all that, but to me, I thought the suits looked pretty cool, despite they're trying a bit more Iron Man-ish looking. So I thought the suits looked really cool, especially it looked good in motion. And I don't need to watch this movie just to remind me too much about the original or anything, especially saying I mean, let's be honest. I mean, this isn't the 90s anymore. I know everyone's so used to what they remember and everything, but hey, everyone has to tell their own opinion. especially I'm rambling on about it. Clear my throat. And I am disappointed that this movie did not do well at the box office. I mean, I know audiences like the film. I know there's some who don't like it, and that's fine. I know critics didn't like the film either, but hey, maybe this isn't their saying because no one got into Power Rangers as much as I do or anyone else. Even I was hoping that either China or Japan would save this film at the box office like they did with Judges League and all, but it didn't. But what did China do instead? Did not save this movie at the box office? They were giving more money to Transformers 5. Of course, yeah, the movie did not come out the same day as Transformers 5, but it just comes to, in terms of what blockbuster movie they'd rather go see, either this or Transformers 5, and they chose Transformers 5 over this. But I'll take Transformers 5 any time of day if I need to keep saying more about it. And I know some say like the movie didn't do well at the box office because of the marketing wasn't that good, which is possible, but I thought the marketing wasn't that bad. But I do say it came around a bad time because of Beauty and the Beast was going to be a big deal. And no, I have not seen the Beauty and the Beast remake, so I can't judge about it. So I'll see it for myself if I ever get the chance of watching it. And no, as I need to say this to Dean Israelite, I don't think the PG-13 rating hurt the film's box office. I don't think that's what really happened. I mean, come on. Did anyone have problems with Spider-Man Homecoming when it's PG-13? No. Parents don't take their kids to go see that movie. And I'm pretty sure our parents took their kids seeing the Power Rangers movie. So, I don't see anything wrong with it for being PG-13. So, I don't think the PG-13 rating hurt this movie. So, I have to disagree with Dean Israelite about it. So, but anyway, I need to wrap this up here as it's 11:19 p.m. So, but yeah, I love the story. I love the characters. The actors all did a really good job with the movie. It's well directed. The music's well done. Great special effects. And definitely with a lot of heart into it. A movie that made me laugh, made me cry, and made me feel good at the end. And in terms of superhero movie of 2017, I love Logan. I enjoy Wonder Woman. I enjoy Thor Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Justice League, and Spider-Man Homecoming. I really like those movies, but this, to me, in my opinion, is the best superhero film of 2017. And yes, I think this is an underrated movie. And I will continue to pray and support this movie, that this movie gets a sequel. Because I like to see more what they do with the story, with the characters, as well as seeing the Green Ranger for the first time on the big screen. Maybe see Lord Zed and some more action with the Rangers, as the characters are now already established in this film. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Power Rangers. If you have not seen this movie, please feel free to check it out. I highly recommend this movie, and each time I watch it, I love it even more. It is a more phenomenal movie, and I love it. And it will always have a special place in my heart to how much I love Power Rangers really much. So, if I would give a grade for this movie, I know last time I gave a grade rating for the movie, it was like an A, so I think, yeah, this movie still earns an A in my book. If it hadn't been for Goldar, I would have given A+, but what I got was good enough, and I got everything I wanted it to be exactly what this movie should be. It's not really a heavy action movie. It's a movie that can tell a story and have characters get emotional with, as well as have a heart. So anyway, I apologize for this video being long, so that's my thoughts on the Power Rangers movie, and that's all there is to it. So tell me, what do you think of this video? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know. Feel free to put your comments down below, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So, stay tuned for my review, as I'm about to review a Steven Spielberg movie that's coming out this week, Ready Player One. Thank you for watching. Take care. May God bless you. May the power protect you. And good night. See ya.